Welcome back to the ETF Inspector. It's Friday, August 22nd, a little after 8 o'clock at night. And this is our recap video plus guesstimate for the payment next week on our Roundhill weekly paying funds QDTE, which is a 0DTE covered call strategy fund on the NASDAQ 100. Same thing for the S&P 500, that's XDTE. Same for the Russell 2000, RDTE. And then it's just a covered call strategy, not 0DTE, for Bitcoin, YBTC. They create synthetics with CBTX and IBIT and then sell calls off of those. I'm on X at ETF_Inspector1. There it is, at ETF_Inspector1. I got a blue check mark today, not by anything of my own, but somebody gifted it to me. BK, let me get the number right. BK-E7 or BKE71018. There it is right there. Received a year of premium, X premium. So I'll get fewer ads, access to exclusive features like Grok and much more. Hopefully I'll be able to use this to make a better experience for you guys. So that was really cool of him. I don't know really anything about it. Created the X account just to help tell people about the YouTube account, but hopefully I can use it to improve things. So, all right, if you lived under a rock and didn't have access to a radio or TV, I got news for you. The stock market went through the roof today. In general, that's a good thing. If you are selling X's, maybe that's not such a good thing. But we'll go ahead and go through them. We did pretty well overall as far as our share values are concerned, and we'll kind of just end it there. NASDAQ 100 was up 1.54%. QDTE almost kept up 1.35%. You see that flat line, right? That's once you go past your sold calls, then you can't make any more money because they're getting more and more expensive to close out. SPX, the S&P 500, was up 1.5% as well. XDTE tried to keep up 1.29, not terrible. Russell 2000 up 3.86%. RDTE up 2%. Then you got your flat line. CBTX, so that's one of the underlyings for YBTC, up just over 4%. IBIT, which is up here in our LFGY stuff, up just over 4%. And YBTC up 3.5%. So they did well keeping up. They did not blow through their strikes, so everything worked out great for them. All right. When we take a look at the trades, so that's part of why I brought up X, because I let you know the trades each day in the morning when they put them out. Right. So in case you want to trade along or if you just want to follow along. And I told you, hey, they're swinging for the fence today, right? Saw some huge premium collected compared to what we normally collect, order of double, even more sometimes. And I even said, they're swinging for the fence. Check out tonight if they hit a home run or struck out. And then, the Fed did their thing. Stock market took off, and I said, looking like they not only struck out, but hit into a triple play. There goes all the gains for the week. So spoiler alert on that one. QDTE sold calls, 375 of them, collecting $63.71 per share. Look at that compared to some other days. Look at last week, collecting 13. So they swung for the fence. I guess that they were thinking things wouldn't go well with the meeting and the announcement, and that the market would drop. So they must have sold these real close. Plus, because of it being in the day, there was extra volatility on the day. But 23,380 was the strike price, and NDX ended at 23,498, $118.12 beyond. So at least we collected a lot on the front end. Obviously, we had to pay out almost double on the back end. So it resulted in a $2 million loss. We were having a great week. We basically gave up yesterday and a little bit more. So we're still going to end up positive on the week. So I was incorrect on that, giving up the whole week's gains. But definitely hurt. All right, when we look at QDTE, what do we have here? $865 million in assets under management. That's going to go up because the underlying went up 1.5%. So after the holdings gets updated, these will all go up decently, and we will be a good chunk higher as far as that's concerned. It doesn't go one for one, but pretty close since these are so deep in the money. But options don't always trade one for one with the underlying. 24.4 million outstanding shares. Today was distribution day, so we all got 23.925 cents per share in our account. Mine are on drip. I don't know what you guys do, so I just got more shares today. There's 5 days till the next declaration, so this is where we talk about that. Based off of the income made for the previous week, because there's a week delay, so this trading week's not what plays into next week's distribution. The week before is. They made $682,000, but when you try to spread that out across 24 million shares, it's 2.7 cents, so that won't be it. Next, I've been using the average of the past month of distributions, so that comes out to 23.7 cents. This most recent 23.9, I said 23.7 is our average. We paid a little above that this past week. We only made 2 cents, but the overall fund did well, especially with today. So my guess is another 23.9. I wouldn't be surprised if it was 24 though. Next, we go to XDTE. They sold calls on the SPX. 64.40 strike price, 659 calls sold, $10.68 per share premium collected. Obviously, again, swinging for the fence more than usual. 700,000 collected. We take a look at the SPX. It closed at 64.4691. So that's 26.91 beyond our strike price. Cost us 1.7 out of the 700 collected, so it was a negative $1 million day. We'll be in the positive, but just barely. Okay, when we look at these guys again, next Wednesday they will declare. Today was distribution for this week. It came at just under 30%, 25.398 cents per share. When we look at the previous week, they actually lost money. As you can see, negative 175,000, so that won't work out for our payment. The average of the last month has been 25.368 cents, real close to the most recent. My guess, just slightly below that, 25.3. And again, with things going up on this last day helping, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to the upside, but I'm guessing we're going to be sticking right around the average. 417 million in assets under management. Again, that will increase by about 1.5% tomorrow. 9.4 million, and I say tomorrow, that's just when the information becomes available. Obviously the market will be closed, so it's already increased today. It's just when we get access to the info. All right, 44.17 was the NAV before the day started, and it's saying it closed at 44.04. So something's up a little bit with that. What that generally means is there was a change in the outstanding shares, and they just haven't. They're not so fast to update their website. Sometimes it's a couple days behind. So obviously, if there's more shares we're dividing by, then it comes out. Or if there's less shares, if people sold out of the fund, there's less shares than when you divide 417 by a smaller number, you'll get a bigger NAV. So once that, I don't know, I might be throwing my math back and forth, but either way, I think we're going to see a change in outstanding shares to straighten these up to be more in line with each other. That's generally the case. Okay, the Russell 2000 fund, RDTE, they sold 657 calls at 23.10 strike price, collecting $10+ way more than they usually do. $660,000 collected. Let's see where the Russell ended up. 23.61, $51.95 beyond the strike price. That hurts a heck of a lot. Now that one definitely blows the whole week and then some. They had to spend $3.4 million to cash settle it after collecting only $660. resulted in a $2.7 million loss. They hadn't even made $1 million. They hadn't even made $500,000. So very rough one, following a rough one, very, very much like it last week. So another losing week on RDTE as far as the option selling goes. There's $149 million assets under management. Again, that will go up. That was before the day started. They did have people sell out of the fund, or I think that got reported more recently, or hasn't been yet, but they decrease in their contracts, their 919 210.50 contracts. This went down from 275 to 262. Generally, these changes come when people buy or sell into or out of the fund. Today was declaration day, or distribution day, so you got 25.4822. I say I'm in all of these. We got that in our account today, almost 40%, 39 and change. Wednesday's the next declaration day. The IV on all the underlying indexes went up this past week. I know I didn't highlight that each time. So last week they lost 53 cents a share. So again, it won't be based off of that. Average lately has been 27.9, call it 28. I'm going lower than the average, but above the last one, just because things went well at the end of the week. So who knows? It definitely could be lower, but we'll find out on Wednesday. Actually, we've found out that we can get the information Tuesday night after 8 on their website. All right, last but not least, YBTC. They don't give us access to their trades. We get to see the trade that they're holding within their holdings, but then we never get a download that shows us what they paid for it or what they received. But they did very well this week. So this big day at the end helped a lot. For starters, they put more money to work, added 8 to their synthetic CBTX, 27.8343. They've got calls sold off of that. So that's out till September 19th. That's their synthetic position where they purchase calls and sell puts, and then they sell calls off of that synthetic. Those expired today, out of the money, because 28.17 was the strike price, and it ended at 27.60. They were 2% out of the money, so they probably got to close these out for pennies. This is what it was at the end of yesterday. So they will have sold next week's and generated more income. Same thing with IBIT. These were sold as 67.50s. IBIT ended at 66.25. So these are expiring worthless. I mean, really, they were 2 cents yesterday. Can't believe they didn't close them out then. But they got to close them out today and sell new ones and bring in more income. The synthetics are both in the negative, but after today's nearly or over 4% increase, that's going to be much nicer, much closer to break even. Actually, IBIT will be above even because their synthetics at 66 and it's a quarter over. So definitely looking good. YBTC had a good day. Without having trade information, I can't really tell you how much they make or lose. So I just come up with a guesstimate. The most recent distribution got paid to us yesterday. This is a Thursday payer and then a Tuesday announcer. So on Tuesday, my guess is 45.8367 cents. All right, that's all I have for you. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. See you in the next Monday video.